The first episode of Steel Ball Run just came out, and it's undoubtedly good. It is 47 minutes long, and the entire episode is very entertaining and fun to watch. This episode gives us the first in-depth view on the characters, the art style, the pacing, just overall how this part is going to be. I do think it seems quite close to what I expected. Maybe a little bit different, but I think it seems pretty similar to the manga. The art style is also very good. I think it's an improvement from the last part, Stone Ocean, and all the characters are being portrayed very well. At first, with some of the characters looking a little bit different, like Gyro and Johnny, I did not think they looked as good as they did in the manga when I first saw the trailer. But after watching the episode, I do like the way they look, and I don't think it's a big deal at all that they look a little different from the manga. This episode seemed pretty fast-paced. I don't know if the whole part is going to be a pretty fast pace or how consistent the pacing is going to be just from this first episode, but they did a very good job keeping the entire episode entertaining and keeping the viewer interested. I watched it in the English dub. I know some people watch it in Japanese, but I don't understand why some people watch it in Japanese if they speak English and they don't understand Japanese. I think that's kind of dumb. I think it makes sense to watch it in Japanese maybe if you're trying to learn Japanese, but if you're not, might as well just watch it in the language you understand. I think JoJo's dubs are usually very good, and this was no different. I liked all the voice acting for all the characters, whether it was Johnny, Gyro, Diego, and the rest of the characters. I think the way they ended the episode was very smart, because not only was the episode long, so we got to see a lot, but they finished the section of the race with Gyro winning, which pretty much made us settle down, because right at the end, everything was hyping up, and then finally Gyro wins. And then the episode is at the ending, where Johnny's voice actors voicing over. I just think this was a very action-packed episode. It was a long episode. It didn't do anything crazy at the end and then make us wait for the next episode. So you're definitely left feeling satisfied. However, I don't know if Steel Ball Run is going to be weekly. I think the way they did this episode was great, and I think it maybe allows them to get away with not immediately releasing it weekly, but I think they should definitely release it weekly, and I think that would be the best choice for them to make, especially if they're able to. I would actually say it would make more sense if they were releasing 3 episodes per week. They choose a day, and every day that week they release 3 new episodes. I would say they should be doing it that often, even more than 1 per week. And I just think fans would probably be happiest with that. However, it seems we're definitely not going to be getting that. The episode gave us a good idea of both Johnny and Gyro's personalities and about Johnny's life, how he can no longer walk, but he was so determined to ride a horse again. He wanted to prove himself to Gyro, and he thinks Gyro's steel balls might be able to help him walk again. But Johnny has a more so immature and inexperienced personality, but he's still very determined, brave, and an understandable character. Gyro is much more calm and laid back. He seems quite intelligent, and he's very prepared to win the race. This episode also really made it seem like the whole part's going to be a very exciting adventure. Some of the other JoJo's parts get slow and kind of boring at times. However, I really do think just from seeing this one episode, they're going to make it a much more intense and energized part. A lot of the moments from this episode, however, were seen in the trailer, so it seems that the trailer only used moments from the first episode. So they made it so that it would be an introduction for the start of the part. However, this could also mean that the other episodes are not quite done yet, or they haven't made quite as much progress with the other episodes as they should have by now, and what was expected, so they're not able to release episodes weekly yet. So overall, I think it was a very good introduction. I don't think any other JoJo's part has as good of an introduction as this part. The only one I think you could argue may have just as good of an introduction, you could say, is JoJo's Part 1. However, Steel Ball Run really does seem like it has a great chance of being the best animated JoJo's part. I'm just concerned a little bit whether they're making enough progress with the other episodes fast enough to release them all at good times. Because if they just release this episode and then don't release another one for a long time, that can really make the hype die off for Steel Ball Run. As good as it is, it's best to release episodes consistently close together. The atmosphere in the episode was really nice, and the animation was just very high quality. I think everything about this part transferred really good into the anime adaptation, and everything complements itself very well. Because some would argue a lot of the parts are a lot better in the manga. However, I don't think this is a part that's going to be a lot better in the manga. I think there's a great chance it's going to be just as good in the anime adaptation. Fans seem to really like it, and it is now the top rated anime ever. It quickly passed Frieren, which was previously the top rated anime, which also in my personal opinion was overrated. However, the point being, everybody seems to really like it, and you're not hearing much bad things about it. Mostly only good. I would not say I'm surprised with how good the episode is. This is just about how good I thought it would be. But still, it's very impressive how good the episode is. And it is standing out as a peak JoJo's part so far. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think the first episode was very good? When do you think we're going to get another episode? What do you like about it so far? And I'll see you in the next video.